Good evening, Commonwealth, and thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I'm Ashley McDowell. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. The Long-Term Legal Residence Relief Act is off to the President for signature. Also tonight, we speak with a doctor about a recent case of tuberculosis. And Saipan is filled with the rainbow as many gather for Youth Pride Walk. In sports, summer is the stuff of memories that can last a lifetime. Stay with us, these stories and more are next.
The phone you want now on the best network and a plan that gives you endless data on chat, social, and music apps. Tell your Docomo Pacific rep you want now with access. Docomo Pacific, better together. Some conditions apply.
Looking for a truck that's reliable, durable, and a great value? Then drive Tacoma. Tacoma is Saipan's most popular truck. Look around. Everyone drives Tacoma. That's because 9 out of 10 Tacoma trucks sold over the last 10 years are still on the road. If you drive a truck for work or play, you need Tacoma. Good looks, rugged styling with the latest technology, and power when you need it. After all, Saipan is Tacoma territory.
Hafa Day, Tirwami, and good evening, Commonwealth. Today is Friday, June 21st, 2019. Breaking news, the fate of parolees living in the Marianas under the humanitarian parole is now with the President Donald Trump. On Thursday afternoon, the U.S. Senate passed the bill H.R. 559, the Long-Term Legal Residence Act that was introduced by Congressman Gregorio Khalili-Sablan. H.R. 559 will provide permanent status to as many as 1,039 individuals living in the Marianas under humanitarian parole. Congressman Gregorio Khalili-Sablan introduced the Northern Mariana Islands Long-Term Legal Residence Relief Act back in January after President Donald Trump ended the humanitarian parole program. The permanent status program is for those who have been living in the islands lawfully under humanitarian parole that was granted by the Obama administration since 2009 and covers 5 categories of individuals. The bill now goes to the White House for President Donald Trump's signature, where if signed before June 29th, eligible parolees will be able to continue to live and work on the islands. But if the bill is not signed into a law before June 29th, parolees, including their parents and spouses, will be forced to leave.
I'm sure that the communication will be getting with the White House. I'm optimistic about the president signing that into law. It's a need here. We're still moving forward on our 902 talks. And so we've addressed the concerns and the importance of having our workforce here, especially on our recovery stage. So we look forward for providing more workforce here and protect those that we have.
Tuberculosis is a serious infectious disease that affects mainly the lungs. And recently there has been a report of a case here in Saipan at one of the schools. KSPN sits down with CHCC Medical Director of Public Health to get information on the disease.
So tuberculosis is a bacterial infection. How you get it is that someone has active tuberculosis. They're coughing up blood. Sometimes even if they're singing, they bring the bacteria from deep within their lungs up into the air, and you or someone surrounding that active tuberculosis patient breathe in the same air, and then it's actually sequestered within your lungs. You can have it in your body for many years, even decades, and most of the time your immune system kind of keeps the bacteria quote unquote in prison, meaning that bacteria is just staying in prison. It can't affect you. You're not sick. But if we do a skin test, it will show up as positive to indicate that the bacteria is in your body.
There are two forms of tuberculosis: sleeping TB and active TB.
So when we say sleeping, latent, you just have the bacteria inside your body, you can't infect anyone, and you're fine. But when you have active tuberculosis, that's when you are symptomatic. You're coughing up blood, you're coughing for a really long time. So like if you cough for a day, please don't think it's tuberculosis. It has to be actually a chronic cough, usually more than 3 weeks at a time. You're losing weight, you don't know why you're losing weight, fevers, chills. That's when you really should go see your regular doctor, and then they'll do evaluation, including likely a chest x-ray. If it's abnormal, if they're very concerned you have active tuberculosis, they're going to refer you right away to me or Dr. Hofschneider, the 2 TB physician on island.
One main factor that makes people more susceptible to waking up the TB bacteria is diabetes.
When you already have sleeping tuberculosis inside your body, if you have poorly controlled diabetes, your immune system goes down. So like I just said before, that's when the likelihood of the bacteria waking up and breaking free from the prison is much more likely, okay? So they've looked at studies that shows that your lifetime risk of reactivation, waking up bacteria to cause active tuberculosis is about 5 to 10% in your lifetime. However, in terms of if you have diabetes, that number goes up to 30%.
A recent report of tuberculosis has been at Saipan Southern High School, where one student has tested positive. Dr. Liu says the first step in making sure no one has the infection or the infection doesn't spread is initiating household contact screening on everyone that lives with the TB patient. Then,
if under the microscope the bacteria is seen, so what we call smear positive, then we branch out in another concentric circle to whether it be their coworkers or their classmates and their teachers. So in this case, we have already identified through working really well with Saipan Southern High School administrators those at risk. Okay, so we have identified all of them and we have appropriately screened. Okay, I really want to emphasize the fact that if you happen to pass along the patient and you saw the patient for say an hour, it doesn't count, okay? So the criteria that we usually draw is that you have to be in close contact with an active tuberculosis patient for 8 hours or more in a week.
Liu says those in close contact with the student at the school and home who qualified were screened for TB, and no one else showed up positive.
Everybody who was eligible to be screened have been identified, and we're trying to get some stragglers to come in, but our staff, our TB program staff, are wonderful, and they've been diligently calling them all the time. It's a little bit challenging now with summer. The kids don't want to come in just to get a screening, especially because most of the time they're like, we feel great. But we highly encourage everyone to get screened, and we do have follow-ups.
But TB is curable.
So active tuberculosis is very curable. We have medications for it. You'll just have to be seen by one of us, Dr. Hofschneider or me, and we evaluate you. The main thing is that you have to take it for at least 6 months or longer, okay? Because it's a very serious infection. It's not like a random pneumonia where you only be on antibiotics for a couple weeks and then you're done. It's long term. We watch you very closely. We actually give you the medicine and we watch you take it just so that we can confirm that you're compliant with the antibiotics that we give you.
Dr. Liu says when a patient is confirmed with active tuberculosis, the TB doctor will determine when the patient can return to the public, and is not until TB is completely cured in that patient. She says if you have serious symptoms similar to TB, to consult your doctor, who will refer you to the TB doctor. Reporting for KSPN, I'm Ashley McDowell. The Commonwealth Utilities Corporation has released the Sanitary Inspections Report of food establishments for March, April, and May 2019 in Saipan. The Commonwealth Healthcare Corporation's Bureau of Environmental Health conducted sanitary inspections of retail, food, and drink serving establishments on the island of Saipan for the month of March, April, and May. And here are the results. For March, 42 establishments received a grade A, 5 with grade B, and 1 with a grade C. For April, 35 establishments received grade A, 2 with grade B, and 0 with grade C. And for the month of May, 37 establishments received a grade A, 9 with grade B, and 0 with grade C. Grade A is 90 to 100, grade B is 80 to 89, grade C is 70 to 79, and below a 69 results in closure or suspension. No establishments were ordered to be closed for serious violation of health and sanitation standards during all 3 months. These streets were filled with every color of the rainbow today for the Youth Pride Walk. Starting at the Carolinian Ute with some face painting, sign making, and speeches before hiking to the Paseo to unveil the first ever Pride Rainbow Crosswalk in the Pacific region, all in kicking off the CNMI Pride Week here in Saipan.
Today we started with the proclamation. We are going on the walk now. We're going to stop and do some waving. And then we're going to head over to the crosswalk where we will also have a program and other festivities for the unveiling of the Pride Crosswalk. And then after that we have a pub crawl. Yeah, so the Pride Pub Crawl happening today. We have a lot of partners in the Garapan area, bars and restaurants, who will be giving special prices all night in support of our LGBTQ community. You know, we can march, we can show support with our flags and our face painting, but we really also need to focus on the dialogue and really get down to the nitty-gritty, you know, about what does it mean to be loved and accepted by your community? What does it mean? How does it feel? And really, how will that help you become a better contributing member of society? That's what we want to encourage.
The deadline to submit applications for the Liberation Day Parade has been extended to next week. The new deadline is set for Tuesday at 4:30. The CNMI Liberation Day Committee is asking any interested government agencies, businesses, community organizations, and individuals that want to be part of the 2019 CNMI Liberation Day Parade and festivities to submit their applications. Participants can be part of the parade through a float competition or the arts and crafts vendors. A release states that the prizes for the 2019 Liberation Day float competition is set at $3,000 for first place, $2,000 for second place, and $1,000 for third place, and $500 for fourth place. Liberation Day Vice Chairman Shane Villanueva says the extension was given to accommodate more participants from around our community. Applications can be found at the Saipan Mayor's Office or online at saipanmayor.com, and also can be submitted at Saipan Mayor's Office. Coming up, we take you to the highest point in the Marianas. You won't want to miss this after the break.
Get the phone plan you're looking for at IT&E. Stay connected with the strongest, widest, and most reliable network in the Marianas. Stream, share, play, shop, and surf the web with super fast 4G LTE data. Whether you need just a few gigabytes of data to get by, or if you want to go further with unlimited data, there's a plan for you. You'll always get the best price. Visit any IT&E store or call us to learn more. IT&E. Explore your world.
Welcome to the Marianas Eye Institute. Our office on Beach Road is staffed with U.S. certified eye care technicians, doctors that have received national recognition, and a friendly, professional staff that will look after you and your loved ones. With over 1,200 eyeglass frames to choose from and an in-house lab, we can make most glasses in about an hour, and we even feature a mobile clinic to bring eye care to you. Keep your eyes healthy and strong with professional eye care at the Marianas Eye Institute.
Ah, Spain, home of the Grand Mick Extreme Bacon Burger from McDonald's. Fresh beef, Applewood smoked bacon, and Gouda cheese. But to get one, you'd have to get your passport, get to the airport, squeeze into the middle seat, go through customs, get into an itty-bitty taxi, say Llévame al McDonald's más cercano, and finally order one. Or get to your neighborhood McDonald's now, because for a limited time, worldwide favorites are here. Around the world is now around the corner.
Welcome back to the Channel 2 News. Exhausting, grueling, tough, but well worth it. Those are some of the things a group of high pointers from the mainland expressed while climbing to the top of the highest point in the Marianas, Mount Agrihan.
You know, they get a couple hundred people up on the top of Mount Everest every year, right? There's been less than 20 people that have stood on the top of Agrahan and looked down into the crater.
Mount Agrihan stands 3,166 feet above sea level. That makes it the highest peak in the CNMI and all of Micronesia. Getting to the top of that mountain is not an easy task.
The southern part of the island is covered in rather thick swordgrass, ranging in 6 to 8 foot tall and quite dense, so you're not just going to shove your way through it.
Clint Call, along with other members of his group, the High Pointers, plus a couple of locals, summit the mountain this past weekend. Call and his uncle Roger has done this climb a few times already. Roger was the mastermind for these adventures.
I've done all of 50 summits of the states, and so I was the one that said, well, what do you do next? And so you start on the territories, and I assure you that this territory is by far the hardest.
It's steep at the beginning, and the swordgrass is really, really tough. You can see I got a bunch of scrapes still on the insides of my arms. I wore long pants, so my legs are okay, but you really need the right equipment and gear to protect yourself.
One major issue for the crew, the tropical heat.
I think it had to do with the temperatures. Finally, we had someone here who had a thermometer, and he was measuring temperatures at high camp at 75 degrees, and I know last year it was far less than that, probably 5 to 10 degrees cooler last year. So just the heat drained us.
It drained them so much that one climber suffered a heat stroke.
My friends here evacuated me back to the ship, and I spent the rest of the expedition there.
Although spending the rest of the trip inside the ship, Rob Suero says it was still enjoyable.
That's what makes it fun, is the challenge. It is really hard. And so that experience is still good, and I still really enjoyed that.
For the rest of the crew, the 5-day hike to the top of Mount Agrihan is a sight that they'll never forget.
Everyone got to enjoy the crater views and looking to the south and seeing where we had come up. It was being cloud-free, so we were extremely lucky. And to me, looking down into the crater on the fumarole, it's 800 foot lower. It's just an amazing view and well worth the effort.
It's always great being able to get to the summit of someplace new, look down into the crater, see the little bit of sulfur that's still coming out of the bottom of the volcano that's there, and know that there's very, very few people, count them on fingers and toes, that have actually been there to be able to see that same view.
That crater view is worth it. Okay, it really is. I'm sure people have taken pictures from airplanes, but there's just nothing quite like standing there and seeing that, what Mother Nature has built. So it's an amazing sight.
Wow, what a trip. Basketball playoffs this weekend. Who's in, who's out? Well, that's what the sports report is all about. Hey, don't be a clown. Stick around.
The phone you want now on the best network and a plan that gives you endless data on chat, social, and music apps. Tell your Docomo Pacific rep you want now with access. Docomo Pacific, better together. Some conditions apply.
You deserve more. Hey, I know it's been hard. Come on, let's go for a ride.
Hi, welcome to Dow Rent to Own.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now this feels like home.
Dial Rent to Own.
Making lives better since 1987.
Buenas sports fans. Buenas sports fans, talk about a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Well, that's one way of describing of making an all-star team and then traveling off-island for international competition. Anyong, Korea. The Little League All-Stars received their sharp-looking tournament uniforms yesterday, thanks to a donation from IT&E. High stirrup stockings, pants with belts. You'd be surprised how many players in the league play without a belt, which is part of the uniform. For sure, no other team is going to have 670 as their number. 2 alternative caps were issued, one with raised letters. They will also be carrying custom Northern Mariana Islands banners donated by Royal Soil, sure to be the hottest and most desirable souvenir there. Team manager Tone Tenorio has been to 2 World Series in the States and other off-island tournaments. This is what he told these 11 and 12-year-olds.
Just to keep progressing, do whatever they can. If they leave everything on the field, then there's nothing else that we can do. If one thing that I know about these boys is we have more heart than anybody else, and if we leave our heart and all of everything that we have on the field, then that's all we ask for.
Justin Camacho, one of the players, going to Korea. What do you think is going to make this team strong?
If we keep our defense strong and play hard, and continue batting good.
Albert Adriano is one of the team's heaviest hitters and also a star pitcher. What do you like about this team?
It's all about teamwork and cooperation.
Being selected as an all-star is an honor. MJ Tudela remembers the moment that he found out. Tell me about your selection. How did you find out?
My coach told me like one day after school.
And what did you feel like? What did you think about when you heard that?
I was very happy.
This year, for the first time, Little League held its games at Capitol Hill Ball Field due to damage at their previous home field at Tangay Field in Susupi. Tenorio, who managed the championship team, McDonald's, says the move this year helped rejuvenate the fan base.
For Little League, I prefer the Capitol Hill Field, man. It's a lot more open. I notice, and all of the other coaches notice, that there's a lot more support from everybody else, that if they're just passing by and happen to see kids on the field, they stop and they watch the game. As opposed to over here, they have to walk back here, and it's a lot harder for everyone to get good seats.
So the attendance was a lot better.
The attendance was
even though there was only 6 teams.
Correct.
There were so many more people.
Correct.
Okay.
Everybody was up there.
The competition is world-class with Korean and Chinese competing, yet there's always hope. All right, final message for the CNMI out there?
We're coming back with the hardware, baby.
Well, the Lodge League has primed its pump for the titillating conclusion to their season, separating the pretenders from the contenders.
To Diaz, a perfect pass, a beautiful pass there by Bas.
That was action from last weekend. It was a real laugher, you could say, as the real deal in knocking Batang clear out into that lagoon out there. Yeah, the sun sets on Batang's season, their last gasp. Real Deal advances, as does DC, and also Far East kicked Pacific Enterprises right into the next season. And Brabu sent Saipan Vegas home with empty pockets. Then playoffs will continue this weekend at Civic Center Court Saturday night. And like the best things in life, it's free parking. Well, it's time for the Friday night special, also called the Top Plays of the Week. Lights, camera, action. Coming in at number 4, number 27, Chris Sablon. He's surrounded by the trees, but he scores anyway. Chris Sablon and his fan club. Stand up, your top play, number 4. Coming in at number 3, Pauline Joyce. Where's she going? Left, right? She's going to score. That's where she's going. Top play number 3, Pauline Joyce. Coming in at number 2, Kobe Santos rips the ball away. He goes in for 2. Well, not right away, but eventually. Kobe Santos, top play number 2. And the top play of the day, Irish Pow Pugger out with this goal, one of her 2 scores, leading Kanoa FC to the Dove League Spring Championship. Irish Pugger out, top play of the week.
Here's the windup and the pitch.
I don't believe what I just saw.
So what are you going to do this year? At Gold's, a dedicated fitness studio with a cushioned floor is perfect for group exercise. The cardio room features a variety of treadmills, bikes, steppers, and ellipticals. Fitness machines will help you achieve your goals, and the largest free weight area on Saipan gives you comfortable space to work out. Gold's Gym team is ready to help you get to your goals. Try harder. We know you can do it.
All right, today's high 90, the heat index 102 in the parking lot here at Mariana's Business Plaza. Yeah, we were sweating. The low 81, humidity 79%. Tomorrow, more of the same. Partly cloudy, isolated showers. East winds around 15 miles an hour. High 89, low 79, seas 3 to 5 feet. Yes, today is summer solstice, and it's commonly thought to be the longest day of the year. However, in the Commonwealth on Saipan, the length of the day today was 13 hours and 1 minute, and tomorrow it's going to be 13 hours and 1 minute, so there's 0 seconds difference. So we actually have 2 longest days, not 1, as we learned. All right, you're welcome. Sunrise 5:48, high tide at 9:42, low tide 5:11, sunset at 6:49. Yeah, and the moon tonight's a waning crescent, 84% full.
Well, that's exciting. So we get
2 summer solstice.
2,
So people
not
say
just
the
1.
longest day, you say no, longest days.
Days.
Today and tomorrow, same. 0 is exactly the same.
So we are an exception here, is what we are.
We are exceptional.
And also, great weather this weekend. Great weather
And
for a pageant.
Plan to go outside. We got the Miss Earth on
Miss
Saturday.
Earth,
Where's that at again?
It's at the Hyatt Ballroom, so
Can you
make
get
your way
tickets
out
at the
there.
door? I
You
don't
can?
have my tickets yet.
You
so
can.
get
So
one at the
get
door.
them at the door, definitely. So be a nice event. Get out there.
All right, I'm already looking forward to the
weekend.
weekend. Why don't we
Me
get
too.
out of here so we can enjoy our weekend, which begins right now.
Right now. All right. Thank you, Bob, and have a great rest of your weekend. Tune in Monday night at 6.
Good night.
Thank you.